Shalom. All praise to the Most High, Yahweh, Ba'asham, Yahushai, Ba'asham Bukakwadash, and double honors to the apostles of GMS and the bishops, the elders, and all the sincere brethren that have labored in the truth across the world, and also to all the sincere brethren and sisters that are listening to the truth. I pray this may be another edifying lesson to the flocks, and whether the Most High want to hear this message and let it be heard. And before I begin the lesson, I will introduce the name of the Father, which is Yahweh, and the name means He exists. And the name of the Son is Yahushua HaMashiach, which means the Redeemer or the Deliverer, and is only coming to redeem His people, which is the nation of Israel, which we will identify in today's day as the so-called Negroes, so-called Latinos, and the so-called Native Americans, which scattered in all four corners of the world, and looks like the other nations, and also practice the custom of the other nations. With that, that'll be it for the introductions. However, the title of the lesson for this evening is basically From Shame to Fame, or we can say glory. And I name it like that because our shame is basically ever since we transgressed the law, starting with Adam, and that goes to the rest of the nation of Israel. We have been nothing. We've only been we've been in great positions of power. We've been ruling we've been on top of the world for a couple times, but however, when we're on the bottom of the food chains, like especially right now, we have been catching nothing but hell. We've been humiliating and getting ashamed. The other nations been abusing us and looking down on us for a while, for the past from the 1300 till now, late 1300 till now. We have catching nothing but hell under every nations. Every nation make a pact to keep us under submissions. Even all those things that's going around the world, we got outside Babylon the Great. Every nations on the planet know that we are the true biblical Israelite, us so-called Negroes, so-called Latinos, and so-called Native Americans. But yet they make a pact together to keep us on the bottom. Even though they know most of us don't know who we are, and they take pride of not letting us know who we are, man. And so they mock us, they look down on us, man. When you read the book of Lamentations, verse 3 and 15, let me get that real quick. Lamentation 3 verse Lamentation 3 verse 15, which says, Lamentation 2, I'm at 2 and 15, which says like all that pass by, they clap their hands at thee. So basically all the other nation, when they see us, man, they clap their hands at us, man. Why do they do that? They've been saying like they in their head, not in their head, they know that they'll be like, aren't those guys supposed to be the Israelite? Those people that's supposed to be above all the nations? And they hiss and wag their head, man. So basically they scoff at us, man, and they shake their head, man. They was like, man, aren't those supposed to be the Israelite, the standard of excellence, the people that's supposed to be the righteous? So when the other nations see us like that, they was like, man, I cannot believe it, man. And wag their head at the daughter of Jerusalem, saying, is this the city that men call the perfection of beauty, the joy of the whole earth? So they're mocking us, man. They're saying like, we're supposed to be the guy that's supposed to be above every nation, man. We're supposed to be the ruling class, man, not the bottom, man. Like right now, we are not in our original role. Our role is to rule over the nations, man, and they supposed to be our servant, not the other way around. Like right now, us Israelite, we are serving every nation on the planet. We are servant to the heathens, man. Starting with the hopeful elect of our nations to the rest of the two-thirds, basically the entire nation of Israel, man. Like the heathens have all of us Israelite under submissions, man. Even us, that's supposed to be even the one-third of the nation, which is the elite class of nations, man. Even them, they're under captivities, man. So when the other nations see us, man, they mocking us, man. What was the shaming part of our history again? Back in Deuteronomy chapter 28, from 16 to 68 has been nothing but well, that's the most kicking a butt, but it's a shameful act, man. we've been getting our ass whooping for a good time, for a long time actually, from every nation on the planet, man. When you look at the captivity history, man, we've been under captivity of every nation, man. And let me see if I can find that picture right now. Let me see. Favorite pictures. I got that picture. Hopefully I can show it. Yep, so we've been... It might be too bright. Yeah, so that's the picture of all the captivities we have been as a nation, man. From the Egyptian captivity, Assyrian captivity, Babylonian captivity, Persian captivity, Greek captivity, Roman captivity, and also American captivity, man. Because we know some of the captivities, like our nation has been separated, from the northern and southern kingdom. But if you're talking about the Egyptian captivity, the entire nation of Israel was under the Egyptian submissions, man. And when you're talking about Assyrian captivity, that was mainly the northern kingdom. That was around that time when they moved to the land of Osiris, which is basically America, which is North, South, and Caribbean also. And then you got the Babylonian captivity, which was basically the southern kingdom, Persian, southern kingdom, Greek, Roman. These all were still southern kingdom captivity, man. And then when you got the American captivity, man, we can basically talk about this specific captivity right now, where we got all 12 tribes under the submissions of the Edomite once again, man. Since Egypt, Babylon the Great has all the Israelite under submission, man, from Judah all the way down to Issachar, man. These are very shameful acts, man. We are serving this devil day and night. At least in Egypt, we have a identity. We know we were Israelite. We don't get me wrong. The Egyptians brutalized us also, man. But Esau amplified that 10 times over, man. This is the only captivity where you get Jakes working 24/7. Jakes have 2 or 3 jobs and still can't provide for themselves, man. They're still struggling, man. How you working 40 hours a week and you still struggling to pay your rent? You have a wife. You have a job. Your wife have a job. Your kids have a job, and you still struggling to put food on your table, man. You still struggling to eat, man. You still struggling to pay your car bill, your house bill, your gas, all sort of bills, man. That's how you can know like you really in a low state, man. And let me see what verse I get. Let me read Zephaniah 3 verse 19. Zephaniah 3 verse 19, which says, I'm gonna read that in the NLT Bible, which says, and I will deal, Zephaniah 3 verse 19, and I will deal severely with all who have oppressed you. So who is the Most High gonna deal with severely? Those are the other heathens, man, starting with the nation of Esau, and goes to the rest of the starting from Esau and goes down to the rest of the nations, because right now Esau is the #1 nation on the planet. That's his kingdom basically, man. And outside of Esau, all the other nations are under him. So Esau have all the fatness of the earth. Like when you read the book of Genesis 27, if I'm not mistaken, I believe it's 27, when Isaac blessed Esau with the sword and the fatness of the earth. And he gave, that was Esau's blessing, man. He will rule the entire earth. We get all the best part of the earth. And the other nations, they get their little scrimp. What was the word again? They get the little bones. The little, in Babylon the Great, when you eat meat, right? You eat like a good chunk of the meat, and especially when you're eating chicken wings, right? And you take like a huge chunk of chicken, or you take like 2 bites. There's a huge chunk of meat between those 2 little bones that open. Then after you pull that meat out, you drop it. There's still a good chunk of, a little piece of meat, depending on you feel like a messy meat eater, right? So that's basically Babylon the Great. You take like all the big chunk of the meat, and when you drop the bone, the rest of the bone and the other nations feed on those scraps. Basically, that's the best way I can say it. They feed on those scraps. So guess what? And you got Jakes all on the bottom. When the other nations finish eating those scraps, Jakes has basically the bones. And Jakes basically start chewing on the bones and the marrow that inside the bone. That's what Jakes got, man. But guess what? The Most I say he will deal severely with the other nation, man. How is he gonna do that? But when you read the book of Deuteronomy 30 verse 7. He said like the Lord Yahweh, the world Yahweh, basically the world Yahweh Bashim Yashah will turn the curses on the other heathens, man. Who's that? That's the other nations, man, starting with Esau, man. All those things that used to happen to us, Israelite, the Most High gonna turn them on the other nations, man. Like we can see it every day, man. Like when you turn on your TikTok or YouTube or any social media, man, all you see is like Esau and the other nation complaining things are hard for them, man. Or they can't pay the car bill, they can't pay the house. They losing their jobs. The jobs not paying enough. They paying them. Well, they sleeping in their cars. They go into the food pantry. These are the stuff that used to happen to Jakes. Now they happen to the Edomite and the other and the other nations, basically, man. This is all part of the Mosaic starting to afflict the other nations like they used to afflict us, man. And you say, I will save the weak and helpless ones. Who's the weak and helpless one? That is the nation of Israel, man. We are the weak. We are the helpless. So the Most High is basically gonna save us. I will bring together those who were chased away. So basically, the Most High gonna bring us together who were chased away. I will give glory and fame to my former exiles. The Most High gonna bring glory and fame to his former exiles. Who was exile? Who was once in the shaming positions? That was us Israelite, man. The so-called Negroes, so-called Latinos, and the so-called Native Americans. In verse 20, it said, on that day I will gather you together and bring you home again. So on that day, when is that day, man? That is like you can say like what verse is it again? When you read the New Jerusalem. So basically, when you know in the last day of the judgment, when the Most High send the ICBM missile and destroy Babylon the Great completely, and you get the New Jerusalem come down from heaven. That's the day the Most High gonna bring us back to our own land, basically, man. And I will give you a good name. So basically, the Most High gonna give us a good name. What is we're gonna be calling. We're gonna go back to calling ourselves Israelite. We're not gonna call ourselves all those labels that Esau put on us, man, like Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, Haitians, Dominicans, Cubans, Puerto Ricans, West African, French, Canadian, whatever bullshit title Esau put on us, man. We're not gonna call ourselves those names anymore. We're gonna call ourselves Hebrew Israelites. Matter of fact, all nations are gonna start referring themselves with the original biblical names, not the current name that Esau put on them, basically. As I restore your fortunes before their very eyes. So basically, the Most High gonna restore our wealth. Like right now, every freaking week you hear like Esau discover like a new gold mine, silver mine, salt mine, any sort of resources. Or you hear like Esau have all those gold that has been captured since slavery. He stored them on a special spot. Guess what? He's put them there for us, basically, man. So when we come back, we're gonna take those because they belong to us to begin with anyway. And he said, I, the Lord Yahweh Shemashah, have spoken. And the Most High say, He's the Lord Yahweh Shemashah, and He has been spoken. How is He spoken? He's spoken to the prophets, to the men of the Lord, man. And Lord willing, those of us that's doing the work sincerely day in and day out, we are the men that the Most High is using to speak His word, basically, man. So the next one I'm going to read is basically let me see, Isaiah 14 verse 1. I'm going to read Isaiah 14 verse 1, which says, but the Lord Yahweh Shemashah will have mercy on the descendant of Jacob. So the Most High gonna have mercy on his the descendant of Jacob, man. Basically, who is Jacob? Jacob, you know, Isaac have two sons, Jacob's and Esau, and Jacob's have the blessings over Esau. The Most High bless him. The Most High said Jacob will rule over his brother Esau, and He said He will choose Israel as His special people once again. So the Most High gonna send Israel as His special people again. The Israelite basically the so-called Negroes, so-called Latinos, and so-called Native Americans, and many of our brethren who scattered on all four corners of the world and looks like the other nations and also practice the custom of the other nations. We are those Hebrew Israelite, man. So guess what? The Most High call us His special people, man. We are basically mini the Most High, basically. We are mini gods, basically, man. And He will bring them back to settle once again in their own land. So He's gonna bring us back to our to go back in our own land, which is the land of Israel. Why did we left the land of Israel? Because we disobeyed the Heavenly Father. Therefore, He scattered us on all four corners of the world, man. He put us among each and every nation, man. We have been under all the nations. We have been under captivity under all the nations, basically. And people from many different nations will come and join them there and unite with the people of Israel. So basically, what does that mean? Like a people that's coming from all the other nations. It's not all the heathens that's coming back to join the people of Israel. It's basically Israelite that live among the other nations, man. When you read the book of Acts, when he told you like the diaspora, which is Israelite that live like in a Gentile mind state, that looks like the other nations, that practice the custom of the other nations, man. So the Most High gonna bring them back to the nations, man. Because when the new Jerusalem comes back on the earth, there's still gonna be Israelite that's still living on the other side of the world that was not completely destroyed, basically. The nations of the world will help the Lord's people to the nations of the world will help the Lord's people to return, and those who come to live in their land will serve them. So the other nations will help us to return to our land, basically, man. And they're basically gonna be they basically gonna be serving us, man. What does that mean? They're gonna be in captivity under us. They're basically gonna go back to their original status, which is our servant to begin with anyway. Like when you see the Edomite, Moabite, Elamite, Hamite, Ishmael working on earth, they are our servants. They are beneath us, man. The only reason they get to do whatever they want to do is, with us right now is because we transgress the law, man. We disobey the Heavenly Father. So part of those curses is like the other nations will rule over us, man. They will look down on us, man. That's the only reason like a Edomite and a Moabite and Hamite and the other nations get to be arrogant and cocky unto us, man. Because the Most High give them access to be ruling over us, man. When we're in the kingdom, that ain't gonna happen. Like when you read like story of segregations, like a Jim Crow era, you see like a lot of time if Jake is walking on the street and saw an Edomite, and they'll get off the sidewalk and let the Edomite pass. If there's a water, they lay down for the Edomite to pass by. That ain't gonna happen in the kingdom, man. In the kingdom, the Esau and the other nations are not gonna be walking side to side by us. Like the Edomite always say, well, we're all equal. Bullshit. That ain't gonna happen in the kingdom, man. In the kingdom, there's gonna be hierarchy, man. The nation of Israel, is gonna be on top of the food chains, and everybody else is gonna be on the bottom. And especially Esau is gonna be less than nothing. Give me 1 second. Those who capture Israel will themselves be captured. So basically, those who used to capture us, man, now they're gonna be the captured, man. Basically, the predator is gonna be the prey, and which means we were once the prey. Now we're gonna be the predator, man. So the other nations, man, we're gonna capture them and put them in captivity, and Israel will rule over its enemies. So basically, us Israel are gonna be ruling over all our enemies. In a wonderful day when the Lord give His people rest from sorrow and fear, from slavery and chains. So the Most High finally gonna give us rest from all of our sorrows, from all of our fear, and from slavery and chains, man. Like right now, this is our last captivity, man. We have been catching nothing but hell, man. We don't even want to go to plantations. Like every freaking day I'm waking up to go to the plantation. I don't even want to go to the plantations, man. The only reason I'm going. And I was just talking to one brother in the camp. He was like, man, his job gave him overtime. He didn't want the overtime, man, but he has no choice because he have to feed his family, man. That's exactly where all of us jigs are, man. We're freaking tired of this place, man. But we have to do it. Because if we don't do it, who's going to pay that bill for us, man? Esau's going to kick us out on whatever 1-bedroom or 2-bedroom apartment we have. Our car's going to be taken away, man. So we got no freaking choice but to get our butt off. whether it's like 4 a.m., 2 a.m., 3 a.m., 11 p.m., we have to get up and go work. Guess what? Pretty soon the Most High gonna remove that our sorrows, our pain away, our fears away, man. As much as we're frustrating or we get discouraged, at the end of the day, we know exactly why we're in our situations, man. Because we disobeyed the Heavenly Father, man. So we have to bring ourselves back to reality and be like, hey, we have to acknowledge our iniquities, man. Our situation is there because we disobeyed the Father, man. If we didn't disobey the Heavenly Father, we will be living in a rulership. We will be ruling over these nations, man. And let me finish that verse. Verse 4, you will taunt the king of Babylon. You will say, the mighty man has been destroyed. Yes, your insolence is ended. And verse 5, for the Lord has crushed your wicked power and broken your evil rule. So basically, the Most High has crushed Babylon the Great, basically. And he ended basically his wicked rulership. You struck the people with endless blow of rage and held the nations in your angry grip with unrelenting tyranny. So basically, Babylon the guy striking all the people, man, starting with the nation of Israel. Even is the other nations that make a pact with him. Matter of fact, he also breaking down his own people. But finally, the earth is at rest and quiet. Now it can sing again. Because why the earth is quiet? Because the nation of Israel in his rulership now, man. So now the earth can finally be at peace. The earth can finally do his job. And I'm going to read one more verse, which is basically one of my favorite verses, which is Revelation 20, verse 4. Revelation 20, verse 4. And it basically is talking about like is it that one? No, 21 and 4. Yep, 21 and 4. So we should go back to the title of the lesson is basically from shame to fame. Basically, our shaming part was basically us in captivity. The other nations looking down on us, man. And we're catching her under the Edomite on a daily basis. That was a shameful part, man. Now we're gonna get the blessing part, man. The fame, the glory. What is the Most High gonna do for us? For Revelation 21 verse 4, it says, and the Most High Yahweh shall wipe away all tears from their eyes. So basically, the Most High gonna remove all the teardrop from our eyes, man. We're not gonna be crying anymore, man. The only tears we're going to have in the kingdom is basically tears of joy. That's the only tears we're going to have, man. And there shall be no more death. We're not going to be dying anymore, man. Dying will be something for the heathens. So we're going to be live forever and ever. Neither sorrow. We won't have any sorrow, no crying. Neither shall there be any more pain. There won't be any more pain, man. Whatever pain you think we have, like back pain, knee pain, neck pain, cavity. None of that in the kingdom, man. For the former things are passed away. All these things will become like a bygone history, man. So that's it for the lesson, man. I pray that was another edifying lesson to the flocks, and whoever the Most High want through this message, let it be heard. And with that, I'd like to say, Shalom.